Hello, it's Crypto CJ. It's a trade of the day, Friday afternoon / evening Zoom edition, and just had an alert go off. Let's check it out. Okay, you should be seeing my Dydex 15-minute chart. Can I
Yes.
get an amen? Thank you. Okay, so if you've been on my Zoom calls before, you know I like this RTI and the 15-minute chart. It just broke below the 20, and we got really good confirmation here on the cumulative delta. And it's broken below the 20 a few times before. We're a little closer to support than I would like. Yeah, I'm going to, this is risky. But if I hit support and it's done it multiple times in this time frame, I will get my 1%. So I think I will. Yeah, let's do that. Using a third-party software, not showing it to you because it's not ready yet. And I keep saying that. I just got an update. This should be ready in Q1 next year. So longer than I'd hoped, but I really hope to integrate this into my trading and my Zoom calls with some frequency next year. And yeah, we'll hope that works out. All right, so let's go to what I usually do. No, wait, I have a Twitter feed, a Twitter post up. I got this from Crypto Ran Man's email newsletter that I subscribe to. I recommend it highly. And since they're in South Africa, it comes, way early in the morning before I'm up. So it's just waiting there for me every morning. And here we go. Every year since 2015, Bitcoin's move in December matches its move from November. You can see 3 years straight from 15 to 17, again in 2020. 2023, November was up. Green, green, green. Will December match it? We're all hoping so. Today, we had a green day. Let's look at Bitcoin. I'm on the day chart, and we did tickle 39K. Almost made it. But then drop back down to 38.7. Yeah. I'm going to redo my zones. We've had multiple closes above this 37.5 area, just the top of my resistance area. So looks like resistance is being broken. I wanted to see a more forceful break. But if this closes as is in the next hour, yeah, that should suffice. So Bitcoin looking good, hopefully looking good on December 1st for the rest of the month. Ethereum had a pretty good day as well. Nice fat green candle. Can't quite hold 2100. We've had multiple breaks into 2100 since earlier in November, but none have held more than a day. So again, wanting to see Ethereum break through this, shoot up towards 2,500 and 3,000. So that's the market overall. Any questions, comments? Anyone care to disagree with Mr. Zach Vole on his prediction? Okay, very well. Let's look at Altcoin Alert, see if we can find some day trades, short for the weekend, or maybe we should be longing this weekend with all this good news. Here we are, Altcoin Alert. I'm on the radar option. Gonna reload. I'm gonna look at Altcoin Alert AA score first. Gonna sort by the AA score. I've got YGG. I've been trading this all week. AA is telling us it's got an 80.6% chance to go up 3% in the next 48 to 72 hours. We do have the weekend coming up. Volume tends to be lower, but again, we're getting more retail traders in as more good news is coming out about Bitcoin and the rest of the market. So that guideline may not be in effect anymore. We'll see. This bull market feels a little too good. As that commercial said a few years ago, I'm skeptical. Little kid butchering skeptical, but that's the word I think of when I feel too good about something. It wouldn't surprise me if Bitcoin had to pull back to say 32K and then bounce back up. We'll see. Some talking heads are talking like that. Meanwhile, back to YGG as a as a day trade, let's check it out. I was looking at Didix earlier. We might get back to that. Just looked at that for a trade, pushing it a little bit, going on a short this close to support. We'll see how that plays out. YGG, here we go. Let's look at the 5 minute first. Turn this off. It's kind of cluttering. See, this is what I like to see, you know, boom, 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 back and forth, big pump, big drop. So as day traders, this kind of action is pretty cool. Unless you're on large leverage, you can, if you're on a short and this happens, then you can get liquidated. But again, keep the leverage down, or if you're on a short, if you're day trading or spot trading, excuse me, then this plays into that. So as a long, as a day trader, we got multiple touches down here on the 5 minute chart around 37 cents. That could be a good place for a price alert. Right click, add an alert, crossing, and I usually use the information source as my alert name. Notifications, an app show pop up and play a sound, and choose your sound here from the drop down menu. And when the price alert goes off, reevaluate, look at your chart, see if that's something you want to go into. So that's the 5 minute approach on the price alert. I like indicator alerts on the 15-minute chart. You just saw me do one on Didix. Bent my rules a little bit because it's the weekend and looking for a short. Some of these are trending down. And what I like to do is set alerts on this RTI. And for trend trades, I like when it breaks above the 80 to go long. When it breaks below the 20 to go short. And then on a dip and retrace, I like when it dips below the 20 and comes back up, breaks back up. That's my dip and retrace, similar to the 1, 2, 3 dip that we talked about on my iCoin Pro Zoom calls on Mondays. And then a place to go short is when it breaks above the 80 and then dips back down. And then this can be a good short entry, though this one goes sideways before it actually drops down. So the alerts I like to set, got to turn my light on. The alerts I like to set are usually entering or exiting a channel on the RTI. So here's how we do that. Right click on the RTI, add an alert. For the trend alert, I'm going to be exiting a channel. 80 on the top, 20 on the bottom. Once per bar close, that keeps it on until I turn it off. Alert names and AA score and notifications, those are all in place. Go with 3 notes reverb and click create, and I'm good to go on that one. So if it breaks above 80 or dips below 20, I'm good to go. That alert will sound. If I want to catch a retrace, and we've got one going on right now on YGG, it just dipped below the 80. You can see the trend action here and on the cumulative delta. This is already in play. So this is probably a short I should have taken instead of Didix, but regardless, I'll go ahead and set it up. Right click on the RTI. We're going to enter a channel. 80 on the top, 20 on the bottom. And I go with 1, 2, 3 dip pump. And a little different alert, chirpy. So I think that might be could be one of my shorts for tonight and tomorrow. Any questions on YGG? Okay. Let's do another sort. Go with social activity. And I want to match up fire or thumbs up. Yeah, got that on LTO. Yeah. STX I like. I traded this yesterday. Got a fire on social activity, thumbs up on trading activity. It's up almost 10%. So probably not, maybe not played out yet. Let's check out the chart. All right, quick look at the 5. On a spot trade, there's support here at about 69.70 cents. And again here at about 74 cents. Those could be places for price alerts. On a 15-minute. On a short, we're kind of hovering above the 80. So that could be an entry pending very quickly. Let's see, it looks like every time it dips below the 20 and breaks above, it eventually comes back. And that would have been a bit of a fake out. Let's bring up the vertical line. So we have a break up here, a break above the 20. That's a fake out. It dips again. Get another break above here, another fake out. And finally, this one eventually works its way back up. So yeah, you might have been in this one for a day and a half or so before it was in profit. So that one didn't work that well, but eventually it was profitable. And then it did really well on the short side, broke above the break below the 80, you know, did a really nice drop there. You know, almost 2%. Haven't quite done this one yet, so this one's pending. So if you want to add an alert on the RTI, let's say you just want it, you're just looking for shorts. So then you'd be crossing down on the 80 once per bar close, and I'll keep it on until you turn it off. Now, if you're trading spot or if you're feeling strong about longs, which in a bull market is reasonable, you want to catch those pullbacks. Instead of crossing down, you can go crossing up on the 20 once per bar close and call it what you want. I think this is social activity. And that one I've used before, obviously, so it came back up. And use what sound you want on your play sound.
CJ,
Yes.
why wouldn't you take a short when you on the RTI when you go way up into the 120, 130 zone? Why wait for it to come down to 80? Why wouldn't you set an alert way up in the green?
It's not a bad idea. I mean, as the bull market solidifies and proves to me that it is a bull market, instead of 80, I might go with 100 or 120 for the very thing you mentioned. But a better answer to your question is I want to see the direction change with some force. And I also want to catch, let's say I put my alert at 145 or 150. Well, I would miss this one here at 132.
Okay.
So 80 is going to catch all the downward moves, but it might be towards the end. That's the risk you take. So I think as the market changes, I'm going to be a little different in my Zoom calls. I might, instead of 80, I might say 100, but that's a good point.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Any other questions before we move on from STX? Okay, let's see what else Altcoin Alert has for us. So that was a social activity sort. Let's refresh. Look at our long-term sentiment. And on this one, I want to match it up with Elder Impulse Daily, the sentiment, what people are talking about with the technical indicator. It's a more specific sort than social activity matching with trading activity, but theoretically they're very similar. So I don't have a match till HNT on the bullish side. EWT, don't really know that one. XYO. Let's look at XYO as a spot trade. This one isn't available on leverage as far as I know, but I believe it is on Coinbase. Okay, quick look at the 5. Yeah, look for a retrace down here to 65, 656, 660 in that vicinity. On the 15, I'll just look at this as a spot trade. I'd want to see that cross above the 20 on the RTI, or a break above the 80, something like this that's going on here. Then you get the big break right here on a Wednesday morning, and it shoots up like crazy.
Hey,
Yeah, 100%. That's crazy. So,
any what?
background noise again.
Like plumbing straps? No way, like.
Okay, I've muted everybody, so you'll need to unmute to talk. So my alert on the RTI on XYO would be similar to what I just showed on STX. We want to be crossing up on the 80 for a big pump once per bar close. You can also try to catch them earlier by crossing up on the 50. I've dabbled with that a little bit this week. And long-term sentiment. And maybe you change the sound on that one. So trying to see where we have a good example of a break above the 50. Yeah, it kind of putzes around the 50 here. Yeah, but it's going just very sideways, so that's not useful. The break really doesn't happen until we get this break here above the 80, and then that's when it shoots up. Not sure if this is a great example of what I'm trying to show, but that's how you do that on the RTI. Break above the 50 or the 80. Any questions on XYO? We are zipping along. So let's
Hold on just a second.
Okay.
You were saying that was crossing up, right? On the
Yeah.
XY. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you were going to short it, where would you look to get in at that point?
Well, I didn't use this one for that purpose because I don't know if it's available on an exchange that allows you to short. So I was just looking at it as a spot trade, but we'll go ahead with your premise. And you would want, well, I was talking to about to Peter about the instead of using the 80, maybe using a higher value. But to answer your question, I use the 80 pretty consistently. I want it to break below the 80, and then that's where I would short. If it breaks below the 20 with force, that's another opportunity to short. Could also use the 50. Yeah, like right about here would have been a good entry on a short when it breaks below the 50. So, I mean, the RTI is really flexible.
You wouldn't consider it when it hits those peaks for small trades. Like like right in there.
Yeah, if it hits here and starts to come down, that's not how I usually set my alerts, but you could right click here and say add an alert, crossing down on the 150 once per bar close, and off you go. So, and you can see the dotted line showing up, that's the 150. But let's say you did that, this happens at, 11:30 p.m. on a Wednesday. I'm probably not trading at that time, but somebody in a different part of the world might look at this chart just after this happens and say, hey, I see a couple breaks above, the 140, maybe I'll use that. But then that never happens again, and you miss the dip from this, where it goes up to 130 and then eventually breaks down. So you miss some. If you put your alert way up here in the 140, 150 area, you're going to miss some of these smaller breaks that can be pretty good as well. Let's say you miss this one, and that makes a move down eventually, 14%. So does that answer your question?
I think so. I'm not sure. I'm still really green on this, so let me think about that a little bit.
Yeah, and again, you shouldn't probably be trading on leverage. I mean, you could get on a leverage exchange and trade 1x. That would be somewhat safe, but you're going to be tempted to go up to 2 and 5 and 10, and so I'd say get your spot trading down to where you're consistent, and that's way easier to do in a bull market. So because you can make additional purchases to fix most of your mistakes. So I do. I hope we have one. I've said bull market about 10 times in this Zoom call. I feel like I'm cursing it. All right. Any other questions on XYO? Okay. A final sort I do on Altcoin Alert is this 24-hour change. You can sort by that and see what's pumped today. And then if they're over 10%, over 15%, I might think that they're played out. But we have STX and IMX. These are two I like to trade in the low double digits. That could be a useful trade. GRT I kind of like, just because these coins move. So you could look for a spot trade and try to catch something that's trending. You could sort it the opposite way and say, hey, maybe these are been beaten down, they're due for recoveries, sort of the pullback and the dip and the recovery approach. I traded Dydix yesterday, INJ a couple days before, Theta day before. So these are also coins that move, pretty well. Let's look for something to short. We already shorted Dydix. That's might be out of that one by now. And in profit, not out yet. Let's look at INJ. We will look at this as a short, a weekend short. I think we already looked at a couple coins earlier that were candidates. Okay, on the 5-minute, instead of looking for something in the green zone, we want it in the red zone. It was up or 1885 early this morning. It's dipped down to about 1790. So on a long, this would be a potential entry area. But on the short, you don't want to short when it's at support. Don't short at support. On the 15-minute, we're in the middle zone on the 15-minute chart. So
what's that news item, CJ?
oh, good call. Objective protocol to launch mainnet upgrade. These can sometimes move, these upgrades can move the coin. But if enough people know about it, it can be a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing. But yeah, I went a little fast on this. Good catch by Craig there on the news item. TradingView is not always good at providing news on some of these altcoins that have smaller market shares, but I think it's pretty good about updating Bitcoin and Ethereum. Anyway, back to INJ. We have currently broken down the 20, and we're in the red zone. Our cumulative delta is trending down, decent move here. We're a little late on that. Not sure about this one. One thing I will do sometimes is if I get one dip, it's just kind of putzing around the line, I'll wait for a second or third dip because it's a bit annoying, but the alert will go off here, then it'll bounce back up, then it'll go off again, 15 or 30 minutes later, then go up and then go again. Maybe on that second or third break below the RTI on the 20, I'll get in. And the reverse is true on a long play. It breaks above and then dips again, breaks above, dips again, breaks above, and then that second or third where I might get in. But set up your alert on the RTI the usual way, looking for a short. We're going to be crossing down on the 80. That's for our pump and drop approach. And then you can do it on the 50. If you want to get in when it crosses the middle line, and then 20. So it's usually, it can't be a free fall. So that's how you do that. 80, 50, and 20 crossing down. You'll have to set separate alerts for each one. Okay, any questions on INJ? Okay, and then a quick review. If you don't have Altcoin Alert, you're maybe still not comfortable in using it, you can create these watch lists on TradingView. Just click a plus, add a symbol. Actually, that'll add to your current one. A little rusty. How do you do a new one? Create new list. Yeah, there you go. So this drop-down menu here lets you create a new list and then use that plus to add the tokens you want to follow. So I will sort this both directions, usually in the morning. I will choose one of these that's been dipping, and then set up what you've seen 4 or 5 times already on the other coins. And then I sort like this. I don't usually go for the ones that have pumped the most. I like the ones in the high single digits, low double digits. And I'll choose one of those and set alerts on that as well. So, and Craig, what's the one you like? The bubbles?
Crypto bubbles.
Yeah, crypto bubbles. Not sure if it's .com or .io or like it's net.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys seeing the bubbles?
Yep.
All right. So this is another one you can look at, and you can sort by the 15-minute or the hour, the day. You get the idea. And you can choose, you can look at charts based on what you see here on Crypto Bubbles. So, okay, any questions on the bubbles or anything else we've talked about?
Yeah, this is going to sound really inexperienced, but are you are you trading actually on TradingView? I was told not to trade on TradingView, use it for analysis and do your trades elsewhere.
Yes, I agree with that. But you can connect TradingView to an exchange. I don't think I've ever done it, but
No, not a crypto exchange. Only Forex and share market, I think.
it used to connect to Binance. I don't know if it does that anymore. No, I'm confusing it with iCoin Pro. That it's drop down menu. Yeah, I think you're right, Craig. So yeah, I only use TradingView for analysis, and then I trade. I do some trading on exchanges, but I do most of my trading through a third-party software. So that I hope to discuss early next year in excruciating detail, but not yet. So
I'm really limited here in Texas as to what I can trade on. I mean, they've got it clamped down. So they've got some that you can use, but they don't really have the volume, and they just seem a little iffy.
What was that one that Connie was talking about yesterday? CMEX or CMEX or something?
MEXC.
MEXC was
It's a
one.
Mexican thing, MEXC.
Yeah.
Which is small, and some people don't like it, like CryptNation guys don't like it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it's there, and US citizens can use it at this point.
Yeah. So, I can't recommend it because I haven't used it, but some traders I trust have used it. The Sheldon Sniper guys like it. So, that's one way you can trade. You should be able to trade on Coinbase though,
Another one,
even from Texas, right?
Yeah, I can hit Coinbase. It's just so expensive to do, really kind of anything on there. So
I do some
compared to
spot
like
trading on
pay to
Kraken,
play.
What's that, John?
I said pay to play.
Yeah.
that's
You got to pay the fees somewhere. One other exchange that US people can use you might look into, and I don't have a lot of experience with it, is CoinW, which you can do leverage on. Doesn't have a whole lot of coins, but there's no KYC.
Yeah, Bing X as well.
As of
sometimes
today.
Yeah, as of 4:30 Mountain Time.
Yeah.
So if
it's tough. It's tied down, but you got to look around for them.
Yeah, and Kim, you being a fairly new trader, you might want to put a small amount, say, I don't know, less than $500 on some of those exchanges and see how they work out for you.
Okay. I really like KuCoin, and they just flat kicked me off, and so I'm cracking pretty much right now. But I'll just try these others and see what happens.
Yeah, take a look.
Yeah. Well, if this will make you feel better, I was on a call with somebody today, and you can now onboard through MetaMask for 10%.
Whoa.
God. Yeah. She bought $100 worth of USDC, and it charged her between $9 and $10 depending on when she, clicked her button. So it could be worse than Coinbase, I guess. Geez, that was harsh.
It depends whether it's a percentage or a flat fee. If you're doing enough, it might be okay.
It might be, yeah. It might be like a smaller percentage for a bigger purchase, but yeah, that one was worse. Well, thanks for that question, Kim. Any other questions, comments about Altcoin Alert, day trading, crypto trading in general? Any coins you want to look at? All right, we're at a nice crisp 35 minutes. I think I'll wrap it up here. If you're watching on the recording, hope to see you live next time. Please check out the opportunities in the pinned comment. They help fund the channel. You guys have a good weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye.